Yeah, I'm Susan Cole, Global University Director. And then we have Margine. She's our Communications Director extraordinaire. And we've got Jen Heinzig. She is the registrar, someone that if you choose to register, you'll get to know. You'll have lots of contact with her. And we have Darlene Hunter, our spiritual director, and she'll be giving you a lot of information today in the history and the beautiful prayer and meditation. And yeah, it's this will be, I'm hoping that we can give you the information that you all need and answer the questions that you all might have. Before we get into, oh, so the next thing is we're going to have a prayer to open up the meeting, and that will be Darlene.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Margine. And all of you, thank you and welcome. Some we've seen on this call a while and some just seeing today. So if we'll all just take a breath and just feel our bodies sitting safely and wherever we are right now, we can close our eyes and take another breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just release any tension, any expectation, any thoughts. And breathing in again, we breathe and we connect with you, O Holy Mother Earth, Creator, Great Mystery, Holy One, Mother, Father, God, all the ways that we know you. I want to give thanks for this moment right now that you called us all here together on this call so we can take this moment in this unity circle and give thanks for you, Mother Earth, and for the land that we sit on, for those that have tended to it for so long, all of you, Mother Nature, and here the coastal Miwok and the Pomo relations in Northern California near the Pacific coast. I want to give thanks for the wisdom of the elders of all of the directions as they guide us and help us to walk in balance and stand upright, fully present. Thank you for all those that have called us here. The ancestors are each and every one, all the way back to that original grandmother that dreamed us here into existence so that we could be present right now at this time of great making on Mother Earth. You've called us here to be the herb in your garden that you need during this time of your great making, O Holy One. We're here to bring our gifts, to be a walking prayer wherever it is that we stand gently on you. We give thanks for the sacred water that flows through us and around us, above us and below us. We give thanks for the fire, for the sun that warms us, for the fire of passion that brings us to this moment, that brings us here to this call as we listened today. We give great thanks for this breath of life that connects us all, reminding us that life, all life, is precious. These times have been challenging for many of us through these times of the end falling into the beginning in 2026, as our relatives from the Kogi Nation have been sharing with us, where our systems, as we see, they're breaking down, they're shaking apart. We're not sure where to turn or how to be present in these moments. Fear and anxiety sometimes overtake us, O Holy One. We ask that you have patience with us, that you hold us, that we know that you have your support during these times, and that we have a community of people that are saying yes to waking up, to taking care of that which we can, of help holding each and every one of us in your arms that way. There's fires, there's floods, there's the changes in the earth, there's the water tables lowering, there's the ice that's melting. We want to be present in this moment of your great awakening, Mother. And way long ago, as the Center for Sacred Studies was birthed from Kayamari, you gave us this template You told us that this is a formula to help us through these times that were coming in, the times that we would no longer be able to travel, so that we can come together no matter where we sit around this beautiful Mother Earth of ours and learn and wake up. You gave us the tools for us to use, and here we are once again seeing if this ministry of training program that you put in motion so long ago, that first class that stepped into this field in 2007, if it's something that is going to happen this next year. Because we never want to get in front of the medicine that you've given us. We follow your direction, we follow the prophecies, and we stay in connection to all of the earth and what she's speaking to us as we are in alignment with the laws of nature, of love, of compassion, of harmony, of unity. You told us that the key to the magic kingdom was to keep showing up. And in our naivety, we did just that, and we came up the mountain 1995, not knowing much of anything, but we were good listeners. We prayed a lot. We wanted a place to raise our children, grow our food, and wake up together. And we still are. And I am so very grateful for all those people that you have called to sit at this beautiful table that you've placed in front of us. There are so many ways to serve, and we are so grateful for all the ways that people are serving right now, offering up their gifts in this time of great need. Thank you for these gifts that you have given to us. Thank you for sharing that it's our responsibility to offer them back. We do this with humility and pray that we do this in grace. I am humbled by all those that you have called through this doorway of this ministry program since 2007. Almost 300 ministers you have ordained. What magic and mystery. How grateful I am, and I give great thanks to all of the elders that have come forward to share their wisdom. I give great thanks for all of the instructors that have been taking us on this journey all these years. I give great thanks for the staff at the Center for Sacred Studies, for those on this call, for those behind the scenes that we don't even know exist, and they do their magic to make it all happen. I give great thanks for Joe T. and Russell, spiritual directors and co-founders and founders of the Kayamari Village and the Center for Sacred Studies and the Fountain, which is the way that we walk in life, tending to you, Mother Earth, and all your beings around this great nation. Thank you for the hearts that are here today, the hearts that might be listening. Thank you for keeping us present in this present moment as we continue to remind ourselves to make that journey from the head down into the heart. For love is truly what is guiding us right now, if we would but listen and stay in this very precious moment together. Thank you for this beautiful gift of life. Thank you for those brave ones who decided to come and put their skin on during this time of Earth's great making, for their bravery, for their courage, for their faith. I'm honored to sit in such circles. Keep us safe. Keep us keeping on. As my grandmother, Unchi Beatrice, long visitor holy dance, reminded us as she was dropping her skin to come visit you. Keep on keeping on. Be the light that you put us here to shine brightly during these times. I give great thanks for this moment that we could be together. I give great thanks. I give great thanks. I give great thanks. Aho.
Thank you, darling. Whew. Okay, after that beautiful prayer, I'd like to go around the screen, and if when I call your name, if you could just give us your full name and where you're at right now, where you're sitting in this Zoom meeting, and we'll introduce each other to each other. And the questions, we'll have time for questions later about the program. I just want to be sure that we get to know each other just for a second here in the beginning. So I'm going to call on Jill.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jill Floodstrom. I am calling in from Salida, Colorado. It's a little town of 5,000 people and one stoplight in the center of Colorado. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here and excited to learn more about the program.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome. And Wendy Anderson.
You're muted, Wendy.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Wendy Anderson. I'm very happy to be here with everybody. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Thank you. Welcome. And Gary.
Hi, I'm Gary DeClute from Madison, Wisconsin, the traditional lands of the Ho-Chunk Nation.
Welcome,
Nice
Gary.
to see you again.
And Aaron.
Hi, Erin Brizard. I'm currently in Sacramento, but very soon to be living in Nevada City, California.
Nice. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Liza.
Hi, I'm Liza Pullman, and I'm currently based in southern Spain, but I'm from the US and may be back in the US soon.
Nice. Welcome.
Welcome.
Let's see here. Hope.
My name is Hope Schick, and I am in Vandergrift, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 miles northeast of Pittsburgh.
Great. Welcome. And okay, Elysian, is that how you say it?
Yes, you said it right.
Oh,
Yeah. So, Elysian, I am in Greenwich, Connecticut, and happy to be here. Just want to find out more about the program. That's all.
awesome. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Yaya.
Hi, I'm Yaya Gravel. Excuse me. I'm located in central Washington in a little town called Soap Lake, Washington. Our little lake is called Smokeyam by the indigenous people in our area, which means healing waters.
Nice.
Thank you. Welcome. And Bear.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bear De Leon, and I'm currently residing in Boulder, Colorado.
Nice to see you. Welcome, Bear. Adriana.
Hi, I'm Adriana Sage, and I'm in San Francisco.
Awesome.
Nice.
Welcome. And Peter. Peter.
Peter is fine. Peter is fine. Hello, everyone. I am Peter. I am from Czech Republic in a town of Třebíč. It's a small town, and I am glad to sit here.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you, Peter. Welcome. Michelle.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle Massey, and I'm in San Diego, California, and I want to learn more about the program. Thank you.
Welcome.
Great. Welcome. Chantel. Still connecting to audio. Oh, there.
Oh.
Nope, still connecting to audio. I'll come back to you, Chantel. Janet Carson. Janet, can you hear me? Okay.
Oh, she raised her hand there.
Okay. How about Sky?
Hi, everyone. I'm Sky, and I'm currently sitting on Lekwungen territory. This is a traditional territory of the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations, otherwise known as Victoria, Vancouver Island, British Columbia.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tatiana.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all here. I'm from Russia, originally also from Russia, but from the north, from the woods. And now I'm in the south of, same country. Nice to see you and thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Chantel. Is this, I think I see you in here twice. There's audio. Well, if you want, you can put something into chat, Chantel. Okay. How about Shauna?
Hi, my name is Shauna, and I'm calling from Utah, from the Rocky Mountain region. And we just got some rain, and we have snow in the mountains, which I wish would head over to New Mexico and help there. I'm here to just listen. I like the ministry program. It's always just a matter of timing for me. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Nice. Welcome. And Janet.
Hi, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I was trying to get unmuted earlier. I was on the wrong setting. But anyways, I'm from a small town outside Charlotte, North Carolina. Right now I'm in Cary, sitting in my car. I'm at work. But I'm happy to be here and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Janet. Welcome.
You're welcome. You're
And
welcome.
Caroline.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I am sitting on Waimala Island, which is off the coast of South Carolina, the original people of Kusabo and Kiowa.
Thank you and welcome. And welcome everybody. And Chantel, if you can hear us, just you can put your information in the chat. And all is good and welcome. Okay, Darlene is going to give you some history of the program.
Okay, before I do, I just wanted to say, I know you've already introduced Jen and Margine, Susan, but Jennifer, where are you sitting?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you. I recognize a lot of you have registered already, or we've spoken, or some people I know personally. So it's so great to see you. So yes, I'm Jennifer Water Star, I'm located in Grass Valley, California, which is Nisenan territory.
Thank you, Jen. And Margine.
Hello, I'm Marjane Brou, and I live in Manchester territory. So welcome and good to see you all.
Thank you, Margine.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you. You, Susan. Or you.
Well, I'm Susan, and I live in Forestville, California, in the land of the coastal Miwok and Pomo nations.
Thank you. Thank you guys for all the work that you do. It's wonderful to be sitting here in this virtual circle with you all. And I'm Darlene Hunter, and I'm also sitting in Northern California on the land of the Pomo and the coastal Miwok along the Russian River that leads out into this beautiful Pacific Ocean of ours. So a little bit of a story. So Chantel is back. Chantel.
Hello, I'm so sorry.
Hi.
I apologize. I got a phone call that I didn't expect. Let me turn on my sitting in my office. Hello, everybody. Was it just a brief introduction why we're here, what our interest is? I don't.
Where you are and your name, where you're sitting.
I'm in Los Angeles in the Woodland Hills area. The Gabrielino peoples and the Tongva and Chumash share different areas here. And yeah, my name is Chantal, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. We're glad that we got to see you too.
Yeah.
All right. So a story, a brief history. Well, I'll try and be brief because there's so many stories. We just love to tell all the stories because it's quite an interesting road that we've been on. Way back in the day, you know, we all got to a certain place in time, and many of us knew Jyoti, Ma, and Russell Park, my brother and my sister, and there came a time in traveling around that Mom was calling for us to find a place so that she says, lay down her altar. You know, we would go place to place and hold different things, and so it was that time. And so in 1995, our community is over 30 years old, but in 1995, 27 years ago, unbelievably, we found some land up in the Sierra foothills on the east side of California, 14 miles up, dirt road, logger road, and 160 acres in the middle of the Stanislaus National Forest, totally off grid. We found our way and we began a Kayamari community. We were very naive. We had no idea. We just knew that we heard this calling and we followed it. And most of us met each other for the first time. I moved up there with my two beautiful daughters at the time. So we're like totally off grid. It takes 45 minutes to get into town. No television, no telephones, no nothing like that, And then there came a time where you had a box phone. And then there came a time when the flip phones happened. And it also had a swimming pool, which was interesting. So you could stand on the diving board in order to receive cell reception in just a certain way. And so that's how that was. And so it was a big change for many of us, but we were really dedicated, and we called we were God's experiment. And of course we still are, whatever, as Brother Russell says, God is like ice cream, the divine is like ice cream. Whatever your flavor is how it relates. Some of us like chocolate, some of us like vanilla, and I happen to like Cherry Garcia. And so, however the divine speaks to us, thank goodness the divine speaks to us. And so the Divine Mother started really guiding our way. That's not to say that we practice all sorts of ways, but the Divine Mother showed us, this great mother of ours, she birthed us all, ways in which that we decided, we didn't even know how to pray, some of us in those days, and she gave us in 1998 this basket of precious jewels, and she said, I want you to they were different lines of prayer. I want you to keep them separate, keep them sacred, and then hand them to me in the new millennia because I have something we're going to do with it. And through that, which we had no idea, what does that even mean? It's not like we know anything. We really don't. We're always in beginner's mind because we're just following. We're just following her. And so we followed, and about that time, these elders started coming up this mountain and teaching us different things and sharing their wisdom with us. In 2002, we started listening to the prophecies that said things like, when the grandmothers speak, the world will listen and change will take place. And it took us 2 years, and then we convened in 2004 the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers, and we traveled with them and helped hold all of their gatherings with them until it was about 10 years. And then it was time for them to individuate and be their circle. And so that in 2007, actually a little bit before that, well, let me back up. In 2001, excuse me, when we started looking at ways of holding ourselves and governing ourselves. And typically mom's timing is pretty amazing. So in March of 2001, after a lot of prayer and a lot of deliberation, and because we started seeing this trend of martial law started happening, because later in 2001 is when 9/11 happened. So she was getting us ready, and the way that we became ready is that the Center for Sacred Studies was formed. And we are a nonprofit church organization, and one of the reasons that we did that was to protect the lines of prayer that we held. And sure enough, that all landed in just the right way before all that craziness happened. And then she also told us that there would be a time that we wouldn't be able to travel, which was also very interesting because we did travel a lot. We have a community in the Czech Republic that is 23 years old now. We had a house in Brazil in the Amazon rainforest, which is where we met two of the grandmothers that sat on the council. We have a community with the Kayamari at the Waterfall House in New York, and now it's a year old. We just opened a community in Sweden. So we have a little bit of an international footprint, and then after 2001, when we became a church, people started coming to us as well and saying, well, the government was saying, well, as a church, where's your building? And we said, we don't have a building. We're Mother Earth is ours, and we had started making a mother's house. So we took pictures of that, and then it came time for people started talking about and asking about, well, if you're a church, then you would have ministers. And that was another, our languaging and how do we say things, and being in an international organization, knowing, ooh, the words, what is that about? And we also realized that mom has a great sense of humor because as I expressed, she brought down into us as we prayed about it, this 2-year online ministry program. Now we're up in the middle of the national forest, and as I mentioned, you can only get cell reception if you stand like something in Karate Kid movie, for those of you who know that, like with your foot up and your hand out here, and to try and get the phone call. And many of us were going through a lot of, maybe you have too, electrical rearranging. So when you touch something electrical, all the batteries would go out or the thing would shut down. And it was quite an interesting moment. And people came and helped set this ministry program up. So Jyoti and another sister, Wendy, and I, as we do, we prayed about it. We took it to the community. We said, okay, let's continue to move forward. Let's discover what this is. We prayed, and that's when she gave us, as I said, the bones. And the bones is this course that Jennifer will tell you more about, that you've been, drawn to find out more about it, is that what surprised us is that after the first 11 months of study is when we would then get together on a retreat, which we were thinking, oh no, we should all get together first and then have the retreat. And what we found is that in the way that she has this beautiful template that I'll take you through her meditation later, by the time we got to meet each other in person is when our ego and our persona, because you know how when we meet people, we have our, we have our little thing that we do, and the way that we present ourselves, that's just how we are. But that when we met each other after the first year, we'd been through so much already. Everything was, we got to meet each other in our authentic selves, and that's an amazing part of the program. Then we're ready for the second year, and this beautiful ordination happened, which is something that is done in person, where Mom and Star Nation come and anoint us with this mantle that she has been preparing us for this time. So we just kept following process. She told us the key to the Magic Kingdom is just keep showing up. We have probably 3 or 4 generations of families still around. We have, gosh, 270, almost 300 ministers that are in various places around the globe. And we are all about us being our authentic nature. Each and every one of us are here on the planet right now. More people than ever before, that we know of anyway, are here and incorporated into their bodies right now in order to be part of this great making. And so each and every one of us has our own amazing genius that only you have. And she's calling us to stand up and be that genius, no matter what it looks like. We think, well, some people say, I came and I want to be a minister, but I don't want to marry people. Or, oh, I don't really know why I wanted the information, but maybe I don't really want to be ordained. We all come for whatever reason that is. But when we put our expectation down about why she's calling us or what we're supposed to do with this, and follow process. And one of the things in all of our travels with the grandmothers, and now with the fountain of the natural order for our existence, which is about sacred cultures, sacred territories and land, and sacred economics. It's time to change. The economic system is needing to change and has for some time. And so Mom's always got us working on something ahead of when things happen. Her timing is just impeccable. Is that, oh, this is what happens when you're an elder. I just let that train of thought just went out one, right? I gotta find it again, but I have so many stories, I'll just keep going. All right then. Well, there it is. See, we just keep following the process. In any event, we are still here. We're still listening, and the ministry had a moment where, after I think it was 7 years, she stopped us for a moment, and it's like, as we were tending to the herbs in her garden. After 7 years, you hear how the fields are fallow, that you give it a rest, that you start nurturing and watering and all of those kind of things. And so we did that a while ago. I forgot, 7 years in, 2014 or 15, something like that. And in 2019, when we graduated that class, which was the last class, which was right before we were all told to go into our rooms. I love how Louisa Tish had this sharing this. She's one of our beautiful women instructors, and she talks about, she's a great storyteller, and talks about how, Mama Earth was angry because we weren't listening and sent us all to our rooms, like we're grounded. We weren't allowed to go out, we weren't allowed to do anything. And when we stopped for a moment and came back to ourselves, wow, we started to see nature start to thrive again, and animals started coming out again, and we could see how much noise we make, and what is our, how do we tend to the things around us, and so COVID then came, and then she said, okay, open the doors once again. We're going to open the doors again for the ministry. And we looked at the program and we updated the program. We're just finishing that with this class that came and stepped in 2020 for the pandemic. And here in the United States, some really interesting elections, and around the earth, the shifting of power and all that's happening. They're here in this time of the war that's happening, Ukraine and Russia and all the other countries that are still at war, that we're now remembering again as we pray for peace inside and outside. And they will be graduating in August this year, 2022. And so here we are following mom. So we put the word out to see if people are wanting to gather, if it's the time to have the next class. And we need a certain amount of people in order to make it work. We need about 20 folks. And so at this moment in time, that we don't have 20 folks that are signing up. And so we'll see. We have until the 20th of this month. At the same time, our whole economic structure is changing and shifting and way out of balance, which is one of the reasons why the fountain was brought into being. The fountain of the natural order of our existence was to tend to those organizations, those nonprofit organizations, those organizations that are serving, because they're the first programs that are cut when the financial situation shifts on our planet. And in looking at that, because we have no idea what that means, and looking at that, what we find is that if we tend to the earth, and we tend to those people that tend to the earth, like our First Nations people, and we listen to the prophecies, then they're going to guide us. And so in this moment of time, she started molding us again into tending to those things that are going to help us during this time, as the Kogi tell us that the end is falling into the beginning in 2026. And those individuals and those organizations that are able to vibrate with the laws of nature are going to be able to keep walking with this making and what she's bringing forth to herself. So we're still here. We have this beautiful land up at Kaimari community, up in the Sierra foothills in the Stanislaus National Forest. I was just there. We know how in the United States that the water levels are so low here. We're continuing to pray for our waters. Just as in Southern California, where the fires have started up already again. So, and there's flooding other places, ice melting other places. Mother Earth is speaking loudly, and how we tend to her is, and the challenges that we face, were the students, the people who've come through the class are always sharing about how much what she's given to us in this program is helping them walk through the times that we're in, and that we're part of a bigger community together, and that we help each other to continue to wake up, because we're human beings and we always fall asleep. You know, no matter who we are and how much we've walked. Some of us have maybe walked this path a little longer, and some of us have gray hair and can share some more stories, but we're all walking this path of being human together. So we want to walk it with a lot of compassion, a lot of care, you know, together that way. So that's a little rambling story that we have many, many more. Maybe when we see each other, we're going to share a lot more. I'll get to be on the call with you once a month as we have dialogues with Darlene as part of the thread that connects you through the whole program as you delve deeper into this. It's an alchemical process. And what are the archetypes that are calling you forth? What are the archetypes that you walk with? How is she molding us to be a walking prayer that way? So I'll just say that much. And I hope I've intrigued you a little. We've got a lot more stories. And then Jennifer is actually going to tell you now about more of the nuts and bolts of the class.
Thank you, Darlene. I always love hearing your stories. There's so much richness in the community, and yeah, it's new every time. So thank you. Yeah, and welcome everyone. As I said, I've spoken with some of you. It's great to see you. And so I'm going to give a little bit of just the structure of the program, how it works, the requirements, and then I'll go into the registration process and how that works. So, so the program, as you know, is a 2-year program, and it is mostly online except for the retreats after year 1 and year 2. And the way that it's structured is that each year is broken up into 11 modules. So each month you will have a module. So you'll have a focus of study. And so you'll be engulfed in whatever the topic is that month, and you'll have an instructor. And the way that the module is broken up is you'll have a student portal, which all of your information will be located and you can access at any time. And so within the module, there will be an instructor video that you can watch and an instructor audio. And then there will be a practicum, so something that you do to practice to incorporate the teachings that you're learning about. And then there is an elder wisdom corner. So there'll be an elder teaching that you also watch a video and listen to an audio. And then, so those can be accessed at any time. So it's really accessible if you're working during the day. So fit it around your schedule. And then you will have a in-person call with your instructor every month, and those typically are in the evening Pacific time at 6 o'clock during the week. So we try to make it work for most people's schedules, and so there are people tuning in from other countries, and so we make that work too. And then there's a monthly call with Darlene, as she said, a dialogue with Darlene, and so same time of the week in the evening Pacific time. So those are the only two scheduled times together, and then everything else can be on your time. You also get paired up with a mentor. And so the mentor you'll be working with for the entire 2 years, and they're there to uh, meet with once a month. So you schedule a call with them around your own schedule so that whatever works for you. And then if something comes up, you need to reach out, you have questions, you have a mentor, and they are ordained ministers that have been through the program, and it's a really beautiful support there. And then I'm available too if stuff comes up, and I can answer questions or get you in touch with the right people that way. And so you have all of these teachings that you gather and you experience throughout the month, and then you write a reflection paper, which is due at the end of the month. And that's really, as Darlene said, it's an alchemical process. So as you're taking in the teachings, it's going to meet you wherever you're at. We have students coming in with various backgrounds and experience, and the teachings really meet you where you're at, and it starts to show up in your life, and you start to see synchronicities. And so you're gathering all these bits and pieces and you're writing them into a reflection paper. And it's not an academic paper, it's more like a journal entry, and it's helping you to take in the information and integrate it into your experience. And so that is the flow of each module and the requirements. And so you'll have 11 of those each year. And then the 12th month is when you have your retreat. So there is not a module on the 12th month of each year. Also required for each year are 2 breath works. We have our own modality of breath work called Maitri breath work, which is amazing. And so hopefully we'll start to have some more of those in person that you can experience. We've also started doing an online version for during this COVID time, and that's actually been really great too. So we have our own modality. If that's not available to you, there's other breath work modalities that are approved to fill this requirement. So you get 2 of those a year. And so then at the end of the first year, we have our in-person year 1 retreat, which is awesome. It's so great to come together in person after being together through all these processes, like Darlene said. And so there a lot of magical things happen that I can't share with you at this time, but it's a really great experience. And then you flow into your second year. And the first year, a lot of the teachings are really personal process. And then the second year gets into more practical applications and how do we apply this in the world in our ministry. And so that's a really beautiful way it flows. And Darlene will take you through a meditation so that you can kind of feel the energy of the flow of all of the modules. And then at the end of the second year, you have your ordination retreat, and we're getting ready for that for this class, which is really exciting. We had to do our first year online, so this will be their first time coming together. But again, a lot of really magical things happen, and it's just a beautiful experience to come together in that way. So that's pretty much the flow of the program. Before I get into the registration process, does anyone have any questions about that so far? Is there still possibility to participate, and do you have to be in the ministry program to take Stargate? Okay, great question. Yes, there is still, you can still register. And we're getting close to the end here. I'm making myself available if anyone wants to have a one-on-one call to get really clear if this is going to work for you. I'll put my contact information on here. There is still time to register up until the 20th. So after this, I'll take you through the application program. Oh, yes. And Wendy, thank you. I remember there was something I forgot. Okay. Yes, there is a required reading and a book assigned for each module. So there will be a reading list a book list that goes out for that as well. So you do have something to read with each module. I think there's one module where there isn't a reading and there's a video, but most of them do have a book to read. So the Stargate program was our original program that was birthed out of Kayamari, and it's the first like initiation program. You do not have to go to through the ministry program before going through Stargate. They are independent of each other. I went through ministry before Stargate. I've done both programs. The Stargate program is really awesome too, and it's more of an individuation process. And if anybody's interested in that, you can reach out to me and I can tell you more about that as well. But they are independent of each other. You don't have to take one before the other. Okay, so you don't have to be on the live calls. So the live calls that we have every month, it's great to have everyone there if possible, just because it starts to build community and we get to know each other and you participate and ask questions. Especially with the instructors, they open up for questions, so it creates some dialogue, and we're actually starting to incorporate some breakout rooms, so there can be some group processing with your classmates. So it's great to have you participate if you can. Things come up, or if your schedule doesn't allow for it, we do record all of the calls and they're available in the student portal to access at any time. So it's great to have the intention going in to try to make most of the calls, but if you miss, then they are available after. Any
Can I
other
just add, like,
questions?
follow on that? So I most likely going in would know that I would not be able to make the live calls. I'm on the East Coast and I teach most evenings and have, so I'm just weighing out that. So
Okay. Yeah, you could still participate for sure and watch the recordings after. And so it would just be a little bit missed opportunity to connect with your classmates and the instructors. Do you have something to say about that, Darlene?
What I can say is that we have a lot of people all over the place, and so even in Europe, where it's difficult for them to get on a call sometimes at 3 in the morning, so there are moments or times that we're looking at whether or not we can do something at some point earlier because of the COVID and things like that. This time, I actually wound up having some extra calls at various times of the day just so that people could connect. So, it might be something like that. But there are a number of people who haven't been able to be on the calls, but then that means, you've got to listen, have some time to go and listen to it, and another time. And there's this brand new system that we're creating, the team here has created for your new student portal that has a ability to chat with each other and things like that, so that there's other ways to build the community. You know, I think Tuesdays and Thursdays are the days when the other calls are scheduled, you know, so that might be when you're teaching, and good to see you.
I was just going to say I have to run, but so good to see you.
Yes, you too. Okay, thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
All
Yeah,
right.
and feel free to reach out if you want to talk more, have more questions.
Okay, and I just email the email that's on the registration
registrar
page.
email. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll put my phone number here right now really quick. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And while you do that, Jill is asking about the difference between Stargate and the ministry program. Is Stargate is an in-person experiential. It's a 10-month program that we show up from Thursday to Sunday. And it's also an alchemical process, you know, what is it, shifting from, what they say, from the shit to the gold, or from, you know, when we transform and transmute ourselves. And so the Stargate program is based on 5 steps of alchemy: preparation, purification, initiation, integration, and actualization. And each weekend there's actually a process that you go through. So it's based on studying non-ordinary states of consciousness and fasting and drumming and sweating in different ways. It's has some transpersonal psychology thrown in there so that we can tend to that which we don't see. We connect with Mother Earth, so there's a lot of earth-based experiences that we do. And there's and then we offer some giveaways in order to cleanse and purify ourselves as part of what we are offering to the class. And so that class is starting up, that program, that journey is starting up again in October, and it goes for 5 weekends. We're getting ready to put something out about that. And it's such a powerful program that those people that wanted to come and live up at Kaimari, we had up to 30 people living there together. We had yurts and things. People had to take Stargate in order to live there. If you wanted to come and live there, it was something that was the baseline from which all things grew. We had a language. We learned how to work with consciousness together. We learned, you know, what our shadow material was. We learned how to be able to talk about it safely. Because one of the things that Kaimari is known for is safe container. What is the container that we hold? That's where people are drawn to us, for this particular flavor of container. So the ministry, you get some of that in, but it's not as experiential, because so part of the work with the ministry is when we are moving again from that Western mind, you know, where we have to understand it and we got to know it, and we, you know, and we move into being able to have dialogue and have experiences with the divine, where we get our mind out of the way. And so you'll have some of those teachings throughout the ministry, but in a different way. So I hope that helped answer some of that.
Yes, and then I saw the question. So yeah, the Stargate is all in person. There's 5 weekends in person over 10 months, and there isn't any instruction or coming together in between that. It's all in person. So yeah. All right, so if there aren't any other questions about the format of the ministry program, I'm going to take you to the website and show you how to apply and register. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so here is our homepage for the Center for Sacred Studies. If you haven't been on here yet, you might want to go ahead and take a look. And so on the home screen up here on top, you'll see the tab Global University. And then so it has the online ministry training. There's Stargate. We have Children's Stargate, Silent Retreats, My True Breath Work, and Wisdom Bridge teleseminars. So there's a lot in here you can take a look at. But the first one is the ministry training. So we're going to go into that. And if you scroll on down, there's some more information on here. You can take a look, some dates and pricing. And so if you want to fill out the application, you can click here, register here. So the first step is filling out the application. There's a $45 application fee. And so that basically just gets the ball rolling, and then your application goes into a review process. And then once it is approved, you would take the next step. So here's the enrollment process, some information. Okay, so registration. So it says until May 15th, but we're going to go ahead and take applications until the 20th. It has the full 2-year tuition price here and deposit. So as I said, the first step is to apply and turn in the $45 application fee. And so once you are accepted into the program, if you want to take the next step to register, there's a $500 deposit to hold your spot, and then you are officially registered into the class. And so let's see, go down here. Okay, so if you keep scrolling down, then you'll see the application class for 2024. And so here are the application documents. And so you can click here onto these links and fill those out. So here I'm going to open the application. And so this is going to ask you a series of questions, contact information, your pronoun, ethnicity, and some different questions. And, you know, we are open, welcome everybody from all walks of life. And so this is just information gathering about you. And then just some different questions about your background, your spiritual history, where you're at, different practices, information, so we can just get a general idea of where you are in life, where any counseling, psychotherapy that you've experienced, just to kind of paint the picture of where you are. And so the best you can just fill this out honestly, and just so that we can understand, is this program a good fit for where you are in life right now? Would Stargate maybe be better? How can we support you in making the decision if this is right for you? So that is the application form. So you would fill that out and turn that into me. And then there's a PayPal button right here where you can pay the $45 application fee. So that's really easy to do. So that's the first step. And then, like I said, it will go into a review process. And then once you are accepted, then down here are the registration forms. And so you can go ahead and fill that out. And there are many different payment options. So you pay first when you register, you pay your $500 deposit, and then that's deducted from the total amount of your fee for the class. And so down here, you can see the different payment options on the registration form. You can either pay for the full 2 years all at once. You can pay per year, so 2 installments. You can pay in 4 installments, or you can pay monthly. And the price for the class is the same no matter what payment option you choose. So we try to make it really accessible for everyone's situation. And then there's different ways down here that you can pay for the class. So that is the registration form. And yeah, and then so my contact information is here. Here's the PayPal button for the registration deposit. And there's other information down here that you can read through. So does anybody have, I see Aaron's hand is up. You have a question? Yeah. I think you're muted.
I know, of course, then I couldn't find the mute button. I was just wondering, and I'm sorry if you spoke to this and I just didn't absorb it all the way, but if you could talk a little bit more about the curriculum or the modules, or maybe a sampling of the books or the reading list in an abbreviated form, just a little bit more to know like what are we studying? Because the way I came to all of this, I'm, I feel called, but I don't, what am I studying?
It's great to see you, Erin. I'm glad you're here.
Thanks.
Yeah, so Darlene's going to take us through a meditation of the different modules to give you some information there. And then I believe there is on the website, let me go back here. There is a course outline that you can take a look at. So we're going to find it together. Our philosophy. Areas of study. Okay. So I'm going to click there. This gives some of the information I already gave about the structure of the program. So here are the modules of what you're studying each year. So you can see year 1, and then you can see year 2, and then yeah, I'm just scrolling down because at one point we had some of the instructors on here, but we updated it this last year. So I don't think that's on here, but it goes a little bit more down here into the different modules.
Beautiful.
And
This is perfect. I hadn't read through this.
yeah, so you can go ahead and take a look through here, and that'll give you more information. And then I don't know, if our reading list is made available to the public or not. I don't think so. Yeah, Darlene saying no.
That's more than helpful. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
You're welcome. Great. So are there any other questions about the registration application process? Okay. And like I said, you can reach out to me if something comes up after. I'll put, again, my number and my email address in the chat. And if you want to have a private phone call and talk more, I'm available for that. And then Darlene's going to take you through a beautiful guided meditation through the modules.
Thank you, Jen. You do that so nicely. Thank you so much. And Sky, you asked about, is there scholarship application? There's sometimes we have enough, we have to, for those people who want to make scholarships, we gladly accept funds flowing to, we're a nonprofit, so you get tax exempt, or if that still makes a difference these days. But we have a limited scholarship fund that we collect each year. And so depending upon how many people are asking for it, it's kind of like how much we can dole out so that everybody gets a little bit. And if there's a place that you're not wanting to be ordained as a minister, then we also do have an auditing program where you have access to the material. I forget the price of that, Jennifer. Is that on the sheet too? You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yes, I can pull up the auditing.
And so basically you would have access to the instructor audio and video, so you could listen to it. You would have access to the elder wisdom module, and then you would have access to the reading material, things like that. You would not have a mentor. You would not have someone that would guide you. You wouldn't be on the phone calls, that kind of thing. But that's also available.
Yeah, so here's the screen for the auditing option on the registration page. If you scroll down, you can see that. So the auditing tuition is $3,000, so $1,500 per year.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, did we get everything? Shauna asking about Stargate. It is starting in October this year. Sometimes it can start in September. It's not always the same every year, but it's about that amount of time. Okay. All right. So let's take another breath. A lot of information, right? Now we're going to go through just a little journey together. If you want to get yourself comfortable, find a space, relax. You can close your eyes, let go of all the words, and just take a deep breath. Feel Mother Earth supporting you in all ways as your body comes in alignment with itself. And breathing in again with your breath as you connect with Mother Earth below and out and up through your body, connecting with your heart up out into Starlit Nation, Mother Earth's relatives, the cosmos. And breathing that intelligence back down into your body as you expand around this circle. So we're taking another breath as we step into this archetypal field that she has called, where we're again moving from the lens of Western ideology of where we need to grab things and understand things and take things into a process that we make relationship with the divine. So as we breathe into this space, we breathe into the space about where we have been called to show up. And as we do, we're following the flow of the process. We've entered the mystery. There's been an inspiration that has brought this divine guidance to step into this moment, into this spiritual study that is individual to each and every one of us. And as we work and move forward, we begin to be in the collective. And here we recognize that we caught something, that we're planting it, that we're cultivating it, that we're actualizing this collaboration with the divine. We breathe again as we stepped over this threshold now, we learn how to work the process. Now that we've stepped through, we look around and we're given a tool basket to help us navigate and stay on the spiritual journey together, moving from separation to unity, from fear to love, and through the power of humility in a way that we approach life. We breathe again, we have our tool basket. Now we're asked to look at or choose our spiritual practice. Our spiritual practice is the relationship that we have with the sacredness of each of our days, each of the moment in our days. It'll give roots to our prayer and motion, deepening our connection to Mama Earth. It'll help sustain us on this journey, bringing balance and connectedness to this journey. Breathing again, expanding as we're grounded in our spiritual practice. We begin looking at walking my prayer. What is my prayer in motion? Staying present in the moment, walking my talk, walking my spiritual practice, walking my prayer in everyday life. And as I breathe in that moment of alignment with my tools, fortified by my spiritual practice, I step into the study of the spiritual awakening. I become more receptive, more open. I'm looking at the study of something bigger than myself, something that transcends the personal, the study of the dynamic energy that drives our individuation process. Stepping into the field where consciousness defines us and we move from the I to the we. Breathing again. And with this awareness, we step into the relationship of looking around and seeing that there are all these mystical faiths, ways that we touch the divine, each and every one being unique and special. We step with respect and with humility. We step towards the field of unity. And breathing again as we expand into this field, into this collective of the we look and we touch our personal grief, world trauma, where our own personal traumas have molded us into who we are today, how we learn to walk with and heal the trauma in our lives. And as we do, we heal the collective. as we understand the wounds of the world, again, moving towards compassion and unity, for it defines us. Continuing to breathe from this expanded state of empathy, we touch into death and dying, entering into the doorway of the cycle of birth and death, suffering and grace, the stages of life that each of us go through, bringing consciousness into this unified space that all life is sacred. We breathe again now, holding the space of wholeness. We begin the study of moving into relationship. Prayer is science, opening the field to a consciousness dialogue with the divine. How do we become this instrument of prayer? Breathing now, I focus this instrument that I am of prayer into action. Prayer is action. I breathe and I expand to see how my prayer is focused and how I line up behind that prayer. So when I pray and how I walk and how I move, I'm aware that my actions affect the next 7 generations and beyond, and how my actions affect those ancestors that came before me. And as we breathe again now, we're guided by prophecy, the instructions given by Mama Earth to help us with the shifts that are happening right now on our planet, giving us the tools to navigate through these times, through the stories shared by her wisdom keepers for so long, who guide us on that journey. And as we breathe again, we step now from this first year of study into our retreat, where we meet and deepen our relationship. We cleanse, we clear, we pray, and we integrate that which came before as we prepare for the next level of the process and the deepening of the teachings. With our hearts full and connected, we step into year 2. As we breathe, we begin to cultivate our relationship with earth-based ways of prayer. We are creating a conscious relationship with Mother Earth and creation, led by the heart, acknowledging spirit, acknowledging and honoring the elements, honoring all of life. We learn here to respond to life, not to react to it. And we move from the we to the all. Breathing again, we start making relations with plant medicines. Plants are the guardians of the earth, from the simple blades of grass and the seeds to the intelligence that connects us with all of life through the plant kingdom, for personal, for collective healing, and to bring balance to sustain life. Breathing now again, we step into the study of the archetypal medicine, where consciousness forms a field that is organic in nature, that has evolved over time. And we step into the field of unity through acts of service, which require a maturity of our character. Breathing again. That maturity brings us to study ritual, creating new relationships with sacred lines of prayer built up over time, mostly through our oral traditions, and with protocol that calls forth the intelligence of the container that holds its sacred and nurtures a way of right, with respect, with gratitude. Breathing and going deeper into a dialogue with creation. She said the seed of it all is through relations. What is our relationship with Mother Earth? What is our relationship to the sacredness of life? Are we listening? How are we responding? We flow inside this dialogue and we become co-creators. As we breathe again and we step into the study of how we approach life. Spirituality with practical feet. Walking in our wholeness, aligned with spirit, becoming an instrument for change, recreating a culture based on collaboration and reciprocity with the earth and all her beings. Breathing with that footstep. We look to communities. Community is where we use our tools, how we trust the process to grow healthy circles. We embrace and practice our guiding principles of relationship, respect, responsibility, and reciprocity, developing a sacred witness that honors the sacred hoop of life that connects us all, and that each of us are an aspect of each other. We continue to connect in the field of unity, for unity is where all life lives. Continuing to breathe now, we step into the study of sustainability. How do we address these imbalances as opportunities for collaboration and learning right relationship? How do we look at whole systems approach to life where we all bring our gifts to the table and we create balance and sustainability where all voices are heard, seen and unseen, that we stand up for one another. Continuing to breathe now as we look around and we look to what we are aligned with Mother Earth and the laws of nature. We look at what is my personal code of ethics? What are our agreements? What are our collective agreements? How do we maintain and sustain safe containers? How do we address imbalances and put them back into alignment so that we can walk with integrity on Mother Earth, fully aligned with her, being aware and awake. And with that awakeness, we breathe again and we step into unity as a practice. Walking in a field of unity consciousness, we continue to practice self-reflection, utilizing our sacred witness, embracing our shadow as we walk in unity and acceptance of all. And then we step into practical applications of our ministry. What does it look like? What is calling me and what is being called to me? How do I fill my basket? With what do I fill my basket in order to serve as a walking prayer? Activating the archetypal energies that have been guiding my life and have called me to this present moment in time to stand firmly up for Mother Earth and all her beings. And now as we breathe, it's time now for us to meet once again, coming together for our ordination and our ordainment, our graduation weekend, where nature herself, the intelligence herself, archetypal medicines, plant medicines, the prophecies, all called us here in this moment in time. We join our hearts and spirits. We join with nature, we join with Star Nation and sacred ceremony. And in these ceremonies, acts of empowerment to activate the wholeness in our being, that we can be in our authentic nature, in the seeds that were planted so long ago to have us walk here and now in this present moment as this beautiful light of love that shines within each and every one of us in such a time of communion and witness. And for this, we give great thanks. We give great thanks. And we breathe again and open up. And oh, Holy Mother, Father God, great mystery creator, all the ways that we know you, the time is now. You've been telling us the time is now, and here it is. You've put this beautiful ministry training program on our table, and you've asked us to offer it up, and this we have, O Holy One. Mother, we are listening. We serve that which serves others. We give of ourselves in trust and humility. We have faith. We have compassion. We walk with forgiveness, and we know that peace starts within us in order to manifest it outside of ourselves. For there is no outside of ourselves, as we are all connected. We're holding this space open for you to call those that walk with a rose and not a sword to the table. For those that light and vibration and frequency are the ones that you're calling to her, to yourself. We know that May 20th is the time that you have put before us. And for that, we're honoring and trusting the process that you're bringing to us at this moment. Sometimes we get in our own way because we have expectations and we're excited and we want to share and we want to bring more people through this doorway. But we know that you have your own timing and it is impeccable, Holy One. Mother, keep each and every one here on this call, those that might be listening, all those in the ministry, the alumni that continue to gather every year, share their gifts, support each other through this bigger global village, spiritual village called Kayamari. I'm just so very blessed to be sitting at such a table with such richness that you bring us in this amazing web of life that you have been weaving, this tapestry that has such beautiful and varied colors in it, each individual and unique strand. I pray that each and every one find what it is that calls to them and that they step into that moment in whatever form it takes in order to radiate and be their authentic selves. Thank you for bringing us all here today. Thank you for bringing us here on you, Mama Earth, in this moment of time. Thank you for this community that birthed us all. Thank you for the ancestors that called us here and are still guiding our path as we still stand on their shoulders. Thank you for the ones that are coming behind the new ones that are born in this time, being called here in this moment. Let us pave the way, take care of them the best that we can, for they have something that they are going to do. Our youth are loud and they're standing up and they're saying, we don't like these old forms. Let's create something new beyond the possibilities of anything that we've known before. I'm so very grateful. Bless them all, keep them safe. Have them reach out and continue to share with us and be on mothership with us and bring their gifts to the table, for we all benefit and it's so yummy to play together. For this, I give great thanks. I give great thanks. I give great thanks. Aho, Ashe, Amen. Thank you, one and all. You could all open your mics and everyone can say hello or goodbye and woof. And please, we have till May 20th. We need about 20 people. And if not, we'll let you know. And maybe it's next year she wants to start a class, but it just feels so close. We'll see what she wants, right? Because we just follow the prayer together. Reach out, connect with Susan, connect with Jennifer. Let us know how you are. Stay connected. We need each other right now, no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here with us.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
nice
you.
to see
It was
you.
great.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, Darlene. I just have a quick question.
Yes.
Did you ever got to know Ms. Rochelle Figueroa from the Lakota? I did a sweat lodge